So imagine a giant digital ledger that keeps track of every transaction for a specific cryptocurrency. This ledger isn't a dusty old book sitting in a vault somewhere. It's a living, breathing record that exists entirely in the digital world. Every time someone sends or receives cryptocurrency, that transaction is recorded in this ledger, making it possible to trace the entire history of that currency from the very first transaction to the most recent one. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. This ledger is called a blockchain. The name comes from the way information is stored, in blocks, which are linked together in a chain. Each block contains a group of transactions, and once a block is full, it's added to the chain in a way that can't be changed or tampered with. This makes the blockchain incredibly secure and transparent, because everyone can see the same record. Now, picture a bunch of computers all over the world working together to add new transactions to this ledger and secure it. These computers aren't just sitting idle. They're constantly communicating, checking, and double-checking every transaction to make sure it's legitimate. This global network is what keeps the blockchain running smoothly, without the need for a central authority like a bank or government. That, my friends, is crypto mining in a nutshell. But let's dig a little deeper. Mining isn't just about adding transactions. It's about making sure the entire system stays honest and secure. Miners use powerful computers to solve complex puzzles that help lock each block into place, making it nearly impossible for anyone to cheat or rewrite history. Miners are like the auditors of the blockchain. They verify and add new transactions to the ledger, making sure everything is on the up and up. Without miners, there would be no one to check that transactions are real, and the whole system could fall apart. Their work is essential for keeping the blockchain trustworthy and reliable. In fact, miners play a crucial role in protecting the network from fraud and attacks. By competing to solve these puzzles, they make it extremely difficult for anyone to manipulate the blockchain. This process, called proof of work, is what gives cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin their security and resilience. But it's not just about keeping things organized. Miners also get rewarded for their efforts with cryptocurrency. Every time a miner successfully adds a new block to the chain, they receive a reward, usually in the form of newly minted coins and transaction fees paid by users. This reward system is what motivates people to invest in expensive hardware and spend electricity to keep the network running. Think of it like solving a complex math problem. The first miner to crack the code gets to add the next block of transactions to the blockchain and receives a reward in the form of cryptocurrency. These puzzles are so tough that it takes a lot of computing power and energy to solve them, which is why mining has become such a high-tech, competitive industry. Mining isn't just about computers and code, it's also about energy. The process uses a significant amount of electricity, which is why miners are always looking for ways to make their operations more efficient or to find cheaper sources of power. In some places, entire warehouses are filled with mining rigs, all working day and night to solve these puzzles. It's a competitive process, and honestly, the more computing power you have, the better your chances of winning the reward. This has led to the rise of massive mining farms, where hundreds or even thousands of machines work together to increase the odds of success. Solo miners still exist, but it's much harder for them to compete with these large operations. To level the playing field, many miners join forces in what's called a mining pool. By pooling their resources, they can solve puzzles more frequently and share the rewards, making mining more accessible for people who don't have access to huge amounts of hardware. Why do people do it? Well, the answer is simple: profit. Mining can be a lucrative way to earn cryptocurrency, especially if you have the right equipment and strategy. But it's also about being part of a global movement that's changing the way we think about money, security, and trust in the digital age. Whether you're in it for the rewards, the technology, or the thrill of competition, mining is at the heart of the cryptocurrency revolution. Solo mining is exactly what it sounds like. You're going it alone, forging your own path in the vast and unpredictable world of cryptocurrency. Imagine being a lone wolf, venturing out into the digital wilderness, relying solely on your own skills, hardware, and a bit of luck. There's no team to back you up, no pool to share the load. It's just you, your rig, and the blockchain. You start by setting up your own mining rig from scratch, choosing the right components, assembling them piece by piece, and configuring your system to target the cryptocurrency you want to mine. It's a hands-on process that requires technical know-how, patience, and a willingness to troubleshoot when things go wrong. Once everything is up and running, you point your rig at the blockchain, hoping your machine will be the first to solve the next cryptographic puzzle and claim the reward. Solo mining is often compared to the Wild West for a reason. It's a landscape filled with uncertainty, where fortunes can be made or lost in the blink of an eye. The risks are high. There's no guarantee you'll ever mine a block, especially as the competition grows fiercer and the algorithms become more complex. But for some, the thrill of going it alone and the possibility of striking digital gold is worth every bit of risk. To have any real chance at success, you'll need some serious computing power. We're talking about top-of-the-line graphics cards, or even better, specialized mining hardware known as ASICs, machines built specifically for the sole purpose of mining cryptocurrencies. These devices can cost thousands of dollars, and the technology is always evolving, so staying competitive means constantly upgrading your setup. But the expenses don't stop at hardware. You'll need to factor in the ongoing costs of electricity, which can skyrocket depending on your location and the efficiency of your equipment. Cooling is another major concern. Mining rigs generate a lot of heat, and keeping them at optimal temperatures is crucial to avoid damage and maintain performance. Plus, there's regular maintenance, software updates, and the occasional part replacement. All of these costs add up quickly, making solo mining a significant financial commitment. The biggest draw of solo mining is the potential for massive rewards. If you're lucky enough to mine a block, you get to keep the entire payout for yourself. No sharing with a pool, no splitting profits. This can be incredibly lucrative, especially when mining coins with high block rewards or during times when cryptocurrency prices are soaring. For some, the idea of hitting that jackpot is what keeps them going, despite the odds. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the world of mining, make sure to subscribe to CryptoKrytonite while you remember. Thank you. However, the reality is that the odds of solo mining a block are extremely slim, especially for major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The network difficulty is so high and the competition so intense that most solo miners will go months, or even years, without ever finding a block. It can be a lonely and frustrating experience, watching your equipment run day and night with little to show for it. In many ways, solo mining is like playing the lottery. There's always a chance you could get lucky and win big. But the reality is that most people end up spending far more on equipment and electricity than they ever make back in rewards. For those who crave independence and are willing to take on the risk, solo mining can be an exciting adventure. But for most, it's a tough road with uncertain rewards. Pool mining is like joining a mining cooperative. You pool your computing power with other miners from around the world, increasing your chances of solving a block and earning rewards. Here's how it works. A pool operator sets up a server that distributes work to all the miners in the pool. Everyone works together to solve blocks, and when someone in the pool is successful, the rewards are shared among all members based on their contribution. Pool mining offers a much more consistent stream of income compared to solo mining. While the rewards are smaller, they're much more frequent, making it a more stable option for most miners. Of course, there's a catch. Pool mining comes with fees. The pool operator takes a small percentage of your earnings as payment for their services. However, the increased chances of earning rewards and the stability it offers make pool mining an attractive option for many. When it comes to mining cryptocurrency, there are two main paths you can take: solo mining and pool mining. Each approach has its own unique set of advantages and challenges, and understanding these differences is crucial before you invest your time, money, and energy. Let's break down the key differences between solo mining and pool mining so you can decide which strategy fits your goals and resources best. First, let's talk about payouts. With solo mining, you're essentially competing against the entire network by yourself. If you're lucky enough to solve a block, the entire reward goes to you, which can be a massive payout, sometimes worth tens of thousands of dollars. However, these wins are extremely rare, especially as the network grows and competition increases. For most solo miners, it can take months or even years to see a single payout, and there's no guarantee you'll ever hit that jackpot. Pool mining, on the other hand, is all about teamwork. By joining forces with other miners, you combine your computing power, increasing your chances of solving blocks together. The rewards are split among all participants based on their contribution, so while the payouts are much smaller than solo mining, they're also much more frequent and predictable. This steady stream of income can be especially appealing if you're looking for regular returns rather than waiting for a big win. The risk factor is another major difference. Solo mining is high stakes. There's a real possibility you'll invest heavily in equipment and electricity, only to walk away empty-handed. The emotional roller coaster can be intense, with long stretches of waiting and uncertainty. In contrast, pool mining spreads out the risk. Since you're earning smaller, more regular payouts, the financial and emotional stress is much lower. Costs are another important consideration. Solo mining requires a significant upfront investment in powerful hardware, and the ongoing electricity bills can be substantial. You're responsible for all maintenance, repairs, and upgrades, which can quickly add up. With pool mining, many of these costs are shared among participants. Some pools even offer cloud mining options, where you can rent computing power without owning any hardware at all. This makes it much more accessible for beginners or those with limited resources. When it comes to network effect, solo mining has a minimal impact on the overall network hash rate. You're just one small player in a vast ecosystem, and your influence is limited. Pool mining, however, can significantly boost the network's hash rate. By pooling resources, miners help secure the blockchain and process transactions more efficiently, making the entire system stronger and more resilient. To sum it up, solo mining is a high-risk, high-reward game. It's like putting all your chips on one number at the casino. If you win, the payoff is huge, but the odds are stacked against you. It's like swinging for the fences in baseball. You might hit a home run and change your life overnight, but you're far more likely to strike out and walk away with nothing to show for your efforts. Pool mining, on the other hand, is about playing the long game. It's a strategy built on patience, consistency, and teamwork. You may not get rich overnight, but you're building a foundation for steady, reliable returns. Think of it like investing in index funds. You won't see explosive gains in a single day, but over time, your consistent efforts can add up to meaningful growth. Ultimately, the choice between solo and pool mining comes down to your appetite for risk, your resources, and your long-term goals. Whether you're swinging for the fences or playing it safe, understanding these differences will help you make the smartest move for your mining journey. So, which method is right for you? Well, the answer really depends on your risk tolerance, budget, and goals. Solo mining is best for experienced miners with deep pockets and a high tolerance for risk. It's also great for those who believe in a specific cryptocurrency and are willing to hold on to it long-term, and for miners who prioritize control and don't want to rely on a pool operator. On the other hand, pool mining is best for beginner miners who are just starting out and want to learn the ropes. Miners with limited budgets who can't afford expensive hardware or high electricity costs, and those who prefer a more stable and predictable income stream. The way we mine cryptocurrency has a direct impact on the decentralization of the blockchain. Decentralization is one of the core principles of cryptocurrency, making sure that no single entity has control over the network. Solo mining, while less common, actually promotes decentralization. It allows individuals to participate in the mining process without relying on a centralized pool operator. However, as the difficulty of mining increases, solo mining becomes less feasible for most individuals, which leads to a more centralized mining landscape. Pool mining, on the other hand, can definitely lead to centralization if a single pool gains too much control over the network's hash rate. But the existence of multiple competing pools helps to mitigate this risk. Here are a few practical tips for both solo and pool miners. For solo mining, do your research. Really take the time to understand the cryptocurrency you want to mine and the associated costs. Invest in efficient hardware, like ASICs or graphics cards with a high hash rate and low power consumption. And don't forget to join a mining community so you can connect with other solo miners to share tips, tricks, and support. For pool mining, choose a reputable pool, looking for ones with a proven track record, low fees, and transparent payout systems. Monitor your earnings, keeping an eye on your hash rate and earnings to make sure you're getting a fair share. And consider pool diversification. Joining multiple pools can reduce your risk and increase your earning potential. Crypto mining can be a complex and challenging endeavor, but honestly, it can also be incredibly rewarding. Whether you choose to go solo or join a pool, the most important thing is to understand the risks and rewards involved and choose a method that aligns with your personal goals and financial situation. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to crypto mining. Do your research, start small, and always be prepared to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of the cryptocurrency world. And don't forget to subscribe to CryptoKrytonite for more amazing crypto news and stay updated on the world of crypto.